Thank you to Movement for Life Physical Therapy for sponsoring this video and sponsoring me as an athlete. Women's Nogi 64 kg division at the UWW Grappling World Championships. My first match is against Kazakhstan. I've fought this girl before and lost to her, so I was really excited to try to face her again. Here we're starting to tie up. We're getting our hand fighting going. I'm looking for my ties. She's looking for a little rush in there, but I'm able to clear it. I'm looking to try to get to my underhooks or to my Russian or my arm drag. I've got my good head positioning. Here I'm able to secure that underhook, and I'm looking to try to drive her back. Under this rule set, if you're able to get your opponent to step out of the yellow ring, then you can secure a push-out point, which is what I'm trying to do here. She is doing a good job of trying to dance on the edge there and tries to go for a little trip. When I go to push her out, I'm trying to hold her down and prevent her from getting up so I can get my 2 points for the takedown. You need to have at least 3 points of contact to the mat for 4 seconds of control for it to count for a takedown. So either 2 knees and an arm or 2 arms and a knee in order for it to count as a takedown. The ref calls it as a takedown, and so he is trying to restart us in the middle in a restart position where she is down and I am up, and giving me 2 points for the takedown. Here you can see us trying to figure out the reset position, but it winds up not mattering because her coach decides to challenge the call, saying that I did not have 4 seconds of control for the takedown, meaning that I would not get 2 points and we would not start down, we would start standing. So they stop the match, and the judges, who you can kind of see off to the side, will review the film of the last few seconds of the match and decide whether or not I had 4 seconds of control. So here we're waiting for the decision from the judges. The way that it works is a coach can challenge a call, but the athlete has to approve that they would like to challenge, which she did. And then if they win the challenge, then obviously it would go to whatever the correct score would be. But if they lose the challenge, then they also give up points. So if you're going to challenge a call, particularly early on in the match, you need to be really sure that you are making the correct challenge, because you could put yourself behind by a lot of points if you're not careful. I'm going to skip ahead because we're kind of just sitting here waiting for the match to restart, but they did decide that I did not have 4 seconds of control, so they take away my 2 points and award her 1 point for the push out because I stepped out of the ring before she did. So they continue the match starting from the standing position, and the score is 0-1 in her favor. There are about 4 minutes left on the clock, so I have plenty of time to work, and I'm immediately looking to hand fight, get to my positioning, and start to look for either my takedown or for my push out. I'm keeping really heavy forward pressure on her to really try to drive her back and open up for those takedowns or get those push-out points, especially now that I'm down by 1. I'm really looking to get a push-out. You can see the ref motioning at her that she needs to start having more action because she's kind of just defending and not really attacking for much of anything. Like I said, I'm driving her back the whole time and initiating most of the action from standing. He is motioning again that she needs to pick up the pace and motioning to the coach like, hey, I'm going to give her a stalling call if she doesn't start attacking more. She did a good job circling back to the center of the ring, but I'm still applying a lot of pressure and trying to look for my takedowns and for my push-outs. I'm really trying to drive forward and push the action to make sure that I don't get called for stalling, and also to try to put her under a lot of pressure so that she'll hopefully make some mistakes. Here the ref is again motioning that she is needing to pick up the action because I'm the one driving all the action, and he gives her a stalling call, awarding me 1 point and tying the score 1-1. I'm still trying to apply heavy forward pressure, trying to get to my good grips. I've got this underhook again. I'm looking to try to drive her backward and start to try to get that push-out point again. Right now, I have the left side underhook, which I'm trying to use to drive her backward for a push-out or use to set up my takedown, but she is actually able to use the overhook to throw me and hit this nice little judo trip for 2 points. I'm able to recover my closed guard, and I'm immediately looking to either sweep or submit so that I can try to win the match. By now, there are only about 2 minutes left on the clock, and I am down by 2 points, so I'm just trying to stay composed and hunt for those sweeps and submissions so that I can try to either make up those 2 points or win by submission. Here she starts to stand to try to break open my guard, and I am keeping her posture broken down, and then I switch to a little sweep, but because I didn't unlock my guard, I wasn't able to finish the sweep. Here you can see the ref is once again motioning that she needs to pick up the pace and pick up the action, or he's going to give her another stalling call. Here I am hunting for those submissions. She starts to stand up to avoid getting a stalling call, and she starts to kind of pick me up because I'm really staying heavy on those arms and trying to pull her back down. I'm trying to walk my guard up high. Here I switch to a knee shield as opposed to a closed guard and start hunting for a far side Kimura. She is looking to start to try to come around and pass, but I am doing a good job keeping that knee wedged in and preventing her from being able to try to pass. The ref is continuing to motion for stalling, saying that she is not being active enough. I'm using my guard to try to create some space and try to work for some attacks. Again, he's motioning for her that she is stalling, and he awards another stalling call, meaning that I am awarded another point, meaning that the score is now 2-3, still in her favor, but she is now only leading by 1 point. Again, she is picking me up. I am trying to pull her back down, and now there is only 30 seconds on the clock, and so we are running low on time. I start to hunt for my armbar, but I don't really feel like it's quite deep enough. She starts to knee slide through, and I start to wrestle up for my single leg. By now, there's only 15 seconds on the clock, and I'm still down by 1 point, so I'm really hunting for this wrestle up. I switch to my double, and I start to drive her out. She tries to go for a little throw again to avoid the push out point, but I'm able to come up on top. I'm trying as hard as I can to maintain those 3 points of contact for 4 seconds to try to get my 2 points. The time runs out, and you can see her corner is kind of celebrating because they think that she won, but you can see my corner is motioning that I should get 2 points for the takedown, which the referee awards me retroactively. And her coach decides to challenge, saying that I did not have 4 seconds of control for the takedown and that they should take away my points. Obviously, this is a super important call because this is what is going to determine the outcome of the match. So they are going to review the film and decide whether or not she had 3 points of contact on the mat and I had 4 seconds of control. You can see my corner person, Tammy, is doing a great job of letting everybody know that I had 3 points of contact for 4 seconds. She is making sure that everybody knows. I was super lucky to have her in my corner because she was sitting there the whole time being like, 4 seconds. She had control for 4 seconds. This was super nerve-wracking sitting here. It was a super long deliberation, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. But they ruled that I had 3 points of contact for 4 seconds of control, 1 second from the end. So I scored the winning points in the last 5 seconds of the match. If I had scored that takedown 1 second later than I did, I would have lost this match. So this was a really exciting win for me. I was able to get the winning points in the last 5 seconds of the match and beat a girl that had beaten me twice before. So I was really, really proud of this win. It wasn't my best showing performance-wise, but it was incredibly exciting, and everyone was super, super excited to see me win this match in the last few seconds. I was awarded an extra 2 points because they lost the challenge call at the end, meaning that I won this match 6-3. I was super, super proud and was super grateful to have Tammy in my corner. She is an absolute beast and legend. She's been around for so many years, and I was really glad to have her there to fight for me. All right, match number 2. This time I'm competing against France, who I've never competed against before. We make our way onto the mat, shake hands with the ref, shake hands with each other, and the ref sets us up in the center, and the match starts. Immediately, she shoots for double leg. I'm able to defend for a second, but not for very long. Under the UWW rule set, you get an extra 2 points if you're able to get a takedown in the first 10 seconds. So she secures not only 2 points for the takedown, but an extra 2 points for securing the takedown in the first 10 seconds, meaning that the score is 4-0 in her favor. I'm able to recover my closed guard and am immediately hunting for a Kimura on her left arm. She is trying to pressure my hips back down to the mat and keep her arm tucked so that I'm not able to wrench that shoulder. I switch from the closed guard to a body triangle, and she's able to start to lock her hands together underneath me to try to defend. I'm still digging for that Kimura. In hindsight, I should have unlocked my guard here to cut my angle for the Kimura as opposed to just maintaining this body triangle the entire time. But she was a little bit bigger than me, and so I just was a little bit nervous about letting go of my closed guard. But again, in hindsight, I should have let that go and cut my angle rather than keeping my hips squared up with her. I'm continuing to try to fight for this Kimura, but like I said, she was able to lock her hands together underneath me, and she's pretty strong here. So at a certain point, I decided to just let go and start to try to hunt for something else because I don't want to keep wasting energy and running out the precious time on the clock looking for something that is not there. So I start to create some space and start to try to attack her arms to see if I can start to go for an armbar. Here, she picked me up. I still have the closed guard. Like I said, she's really strong, so she was able to pick me up and hold me here to kind of try to defend and start to try to unlock my guard. I try to go for a little sweep here, but I'm not quite able to get the angle that I need, and she's able to get my guard unlocked. So I sit up and start to play a seated guard. Here, I'm looking to try to get in on a leg and look for a wrestle up, and she tries to go into pass. I'm able to get in on a leg, turtle up, and start to look for that wrestle up. As I start to work for that wrestle up and that single leg, she decides to start to get in on my head to try to switch to a guillotine. This was really smart on her part because the ref was giving her a lot of warnings for stalling, and so if she didn't do something soon, he was going to give her a stalling deduction. And if she's in on a submission, I don't think he can call her for stalling. It looks a little bit tighter than it is. It was pretty tight. I definitely did have to defend, but I was just kind of working on trying to break hands and trying to pop that head out, which I'm able to do. He then awards me 2 points for getting on top and awards her a point for the guillotine attempt. So now the score is 5-2 in her favor with about 2 minutes left. I am looking to get good grips and pin her arms to try to stand up and start to work to break open her closed guard, but she's able to control my posture and pull me back down. So again, I'm looking to hand fight to create space, pin her arms, and start to stand up so that I can start to work for my closed guard, break, and pass. You can see the ref is motioning that I need to pick up the pace. Here I'm able to establish my grips and stand up. She's looking to try to get in on the leg, but I'm keeping my base strong and not letting her get to my other leg. And I'm starting to pin her arms and start to look to wedge in my knee and start to try to break open her guard. I'm not able to break the guard open. Like I said, she's very strong, but I am able to wedge my knee in to her guard. Here I am hand fighting, and originally I was looking to try to get that far side underhook and start to knee cut and pass. But like I said, she's really, really strong, and we were running really short on time, and I'm just having a hard time getting to this pass. So with 30 seconds left, I decide to switch from going for my pass to going for my knee bar. Unfortunately, I'm not quite able to get the angle that I needed, and she's able to defend by putting her foot onto the ground. Normally, I would try to switch to my heel hook from here, but heel hooks are not allowed under this rule set, so I'm trying to sweep her over and switch to my ankle lock. She is awarded 2 points for coming up on top. She's starting to stack me, and I'm just not able to sweep her over or get the angle that I need on this ankle lock in time, and the time runs out, meaning that I lose this match 7-2. I was a little bit bummed after this match, but it was a really good back and forth match, and I made some technical mistakes that I'm not proud of, but I was mentally composed the whole time, which has been an issue for me in the past with particularly these bigger tournaments. So even though it wasn't what I wanted, I still am proud of myself for staying composed and putting on a good performance. And my opponent was really good, so I had a fun time. All right, day 2, on to the Ghee matches. This is a match versus Canada, also at 64 kg. We shake hands and start the match, and she immediately gets her grips and establishes a butterfly guard going into an X guard, trying to sweep me. I get my 2 for the guard pull, and I am trying my best to stay on my feet, keep good pressure, and not let her sweep me over. I'm doing a good job of keeping a wide base and preventing her from being able to elevate and lift me over. She is doing a good job of getting her grips. I could tell immediately she was a lot more comfortable in the gi than I was, so she was really getting the better of me in these gripping exchanges. Here I am looking to start to dig for my underhook so that I can start to pressure and pass. But like I said, she's doing a really good job of dominating these gripping exchanges, and she is able to get the underhook that I want. She starts to try to take me over, so I invert for the knee bar and start to try to attack at the end of the lever and extend out for my knee bar. I'm able to get a pretty good bite on this knee bar. I'm able to start to extend her leg out, but like I said, she's really, really good with these grips, and she's using her grips on the gi to try to come around to my back. I still have a pretty good bite on it, and like I said, I was able to get full extension, but she is just doing a really good job of keeping her leg in a position to where I'm not able to quite finish it. I'm still trying to look for the extension on that leg, but you can see I'm losing that bite on it. And even though I'm able to re-grab her leg, I'm just not able to maintain the positioning that I need in order to get to that knee bar finish. She's still using her grips on the gi to try to get herself into a better position and defend this knee bar, and she's starting to be able to slip that leg out and look for my back, but I am doing a good job of keeping her from getting to my back. Here I'm trying to see if I can get a rebite on that knee bar or switch to the saddle position and start to look for my cloverleaf or my ankle locks, but she's doing a really good job of, again, using the grips to maintain top pressure, and she is awarded 2 points here for coming up on top. I'm still looking to see if I can try to elevate her to get in for my leg lock position, ideally looking for the saddle or looking to rebite on the knee bar, but she's doing a good job of maintaining her top pressure and not letting me get underneath her to start to look for those leg lock positions. She is able to use her crossface and her gi grips to start to flatten me out and prevent me from starting to elevate her. From here, she is able to start to get me into more of a half guard type position and is looking to try to clear my legs and pass. I still have the quarter guard at this point, but she is doing a good job of trying to flatten me out. I'm starting to try to get back to my half guard, but she's starting to clear that foot and looking for her butter mount, starting to push on my legs to try to escape that foot, and is able to clear to mount. She gets 4 points for the mount position, and I go to bridge to try to escape, but I roll up into her guard and into a triangle, which she is immediately able to lock up, and while I'm trying to defend the triangle, she extends for the armbar, and I tap. I was pretty disappointed with myself in this match. I felt like I got very flustered and made mental and technical mistakes that I wouldn't normally make and that I did not make in the previous day. Overall, I just don't feel like I showed my best abilities as an athlete and my best jiu-jitsu in this match, but It happens. Sometimes you just have an off day, and all you can do is learn and grow from it and move on to the next one. Super grateful for the experience, and thanks for watching, and subscribe for more videos.